Jessica Alstrom, spiritual teacher, medical intuitive, and quantum integration specialist, answers your spiritual questions and assists you through understanding your personal process while providing tools and techniques to move swiftly through the journey back to light.
Good morning and welcome to the Transcendence podcast. This is your host, Jessica Alstrom, and my voice is finally coming back. Every once in a while this happens to me and I just lose my whole ability to speak. I think that's a message from the divine telling me to shut up for a while. So sorry if my voice is a little froggy today, but I really was inspired to do a podcast since I've been kind of offline for a week. Us getting ready to do our big move and just gearing up for a lot of big changes that are going on on the planet. So I kind of wanted to jump into it. I love getting inspired to do podcasts after radio silence for a while because I can really get in touch with what my students are going through and tap into collective consciousness and try to help make sense of everything that's going on with the planet and how fast everything feels like it's moving. And so today I wanted to do a podcast where I'm going to kind of do some serious tough love with you guys because you are way smarter than you think you are. You're way more deserving than you think you are. You're more talented and intuitive than you think you are. And it's really time to stop, living a lie. And what I mean by that is that, if you have an urge inside of you that you're not answering because of obligation, then you're going to suffer in this new energy pretty intensely because, you came to the planet that you knew was going to be dysfunctional, to say the least. And you knew before you incarnated that your job was to clean it up, to heal it, to bring light and love back to this dark planet. You knew that. And although you've gotten lost and you've gotten found several times throughout your life, we're coming to a threshold, we're coming to a fork in the road where you no longer get to choose to be asleep, even though you're awake. And what I mean by that is the spiritualists out there that know all of the information that I teach and so many other teachers teach, and yet you're doing nothing with it. You're still scared to public speak. You're still scared to go heal someone. You're scared of your own body. You're scared of the government. You're scared of the planet. The thing is there's no space for that anymore. It's almost like it's time to walk through the fire. And, I'm okay with triggering you guys on this podcast because there is a difference between, holding yourself back because you're working on your belief systems and holding yourself back because you're just afraid. And I believe in all of us. Anyone who can hear this message, you're here for a reason. You're here for a big purpose. And the sicker your body is, which means that you are more of a healer. So if you're sick right now, it's because you're a healer that's not healing yourself and others. If you are blocked in any way, it's because you don't love yourself enough to move energy. And so it's like what I want to do today is I want to give you guys some tools and assistance in really basically becoming that courageous lion that is in every one of us. And I want to start by explaining the difference between something that I have to deal with on a daily basis when I'm working with empaths and light workers and indigos that feel lost, stuck, and blocked. And I want to discern something that's really important because there is a big difference between sympathy and compassion. Now, as a teacher, I have to focus on compassion because basically what sympathy is, it's an agreement to allow victimization. If I provide sympathy for someone, this is an example. Someone comes to me and says, I'm so sick. And if I were to give that person sympathy, I would say, I know it's so hard to be here. And it is so hard to eat good food because it's so expensive. And the doctors don't understand. And, you had such a rough childhood. And, your grandfather had this this illness, and so I understand why you have it. See, that's agreement, okay? And when you give someone agreement on their victimization, then you actually make it bigger. And by default, you actually assist in that, and you take it on yourself, because what you agree to, you become. And what you agree to, you become a little bit of that, which means now it's okay for you to be a victim because you've agreed to someone else being a victim. And I see this a lot in the spiritual community. You know, we're doing our best as healers and teachers, and yet we are allowing ourselves to be broken sick. And that's not why you came. You can't be a broken superhero anymore, okay? And the difference between sympathy and compassion is about someone coming to me and saying, I'm so sick. And me looking directly into their soul and saying, of course you are. You've been lost for a really long time. But what I see inside of you is a magical healer and a teacher and a spokesperson and a messenger and a game changer. And so what do we need to do to help you remember who you are so that you can heal your own body and recalibrate your whole energy system so that you can get back on your purpose? What can I do to help you do that? So you can see right there what the difference between sympathy and compassion looks like in a teaching modality. Because there is no room for sympathy on a planet that is basically dying from its old ways. The planet that has been running on power for hundreds of thousands of years is dying. And the planet that's being reborn is one through unconditional love and compassion, which means there's no space for victimization. There is only tough love, which means that any sympathetic relationships that you feel obligated to embark with or be a part of is holding you back. And you are enabling their own light to be shine upon themselves as you can continue to light the flame within you to help them see their world through your eyes. You can't keep holding yourself back. You know, you really need to start doing, we all need to really start doing what we're afraid of the most, because what we're afraid of the most is being ourselves. We're not afraid of our darkness, we're afraid of the light. We're afraid of how big we might get and who we might leave behind. And the poor ego that is slowly still trying to get your attention is saying, but what if they don't love me? What if they don't like what I say? What if my healing doesn't work? And the truth is that it's impossible for you to fail. It is impossible, even if you stay completely sick in your home for the rest of your life, feeling love for the world, then you have done your purpose. But I always say that's not very much fun. And the child within you wants to have fun here. And what I mean by that is regardless of how you spend your days, how you spend your money, how you spend your time, if you are here calibrated with the frequency of unconditional love within your vibrational escrow of heart, soul, mind, and body, then you are of service whether you think you are or not, which means your heart field radiates and communicates to every other heart on the planet, waking everyone up gently, like a mother waking a baby up in the morning. You are still doing your job, but you aren't enjoying you're not enjoying the journey. You're feeling blocked and stuck and lost because you've made agreements to third dimension that you believe that being a loyal, honest person that you need to stay loyal to. And my question for you is, who and what is your loyalty for? Are you here to change the world? Are you here to take care of your failing victim friendships? You know, are you here to support a job that does not feed your soul? Because empaths, indigos, and starseeds, if you continue to live a third dimensional life, your life is going to suck. I'm sorry to say that. It's going to be horrible. You are going to have suicidal thoughts. You are going to feel so deeply alone and scared because your life doesn't resonate with you. And the information that you read and the things you hear resonate with you, but how about it's time to start living that? And the only thing that you can do right now in this time and space reality is move forward, make changes, okay? August, I'm already getting my downloads for Second Sunday. August is the soul migration. We are all feeling the urge, the pull to move something. Whether it's move out of a job, move into a job, move out of the country, move into another state, move into a different home, move out of a relationship. It is a soul migration, which means that July represents the soul's independence. And that means that biologically you are free. And now if you stay, it is a choice. And yes, you have a choice and you have a voice. And it does matter. And you are here to change the world. And if you don't start acting on your purpose, whatever that might be, you're not going to feel well. And you don't get to blame anyone else for your condition at this point, because it isn't anyone's fault that you continue to choose the choices that keep you stuck. Your body loves you unconditionally and is waiting for you to become the healer that you know you are and heal thyself. Your relationships that are one-sided, that keep pushing your buttons and triggering you, what is that telling you? It is telling you to take your power back and start saying yes to you and no to anything that doesn't satisfy your personal frequency of highest level of excitement and joy. Which means if your relationships are not joyful, it's time to restructure those relationships. As the soul migration continues through the rest of the year, the planet is going to start changing very rapidly. And as the planet starts changing very rapidly, you're going to be divinely cared for in that, as long as you are choosing joy, as long as you are choosing excitement. Which means whatever you're doing right now that doesn't feel good, you need to really look at that and ask yourself, why do I keep behaving in a way that doesn't align with my soul's purpose? And maybe you don't know what your soul's purpose is as far as a 3D outline, but you do know what your heart's purpose is. And your heart's purpose is to love and to be of service and to help bring the message that you carry within you that is unique to anyone that will hear it and anyone that will receive it. And as you learn to be more compassionate in your relationships and less sympathetic, then those relationships that need to go away will begin to break free, and you will feel empowered, and the relationship will actually heal, and the dynamic will shift, and everything will become as it should be. And for a brief minute in time, when things have to break down, it's okay that they might appear negative on the surface, just like what the planet is going through. A rebirth is never without chaos. I won't say pain, because this does not need to be a painful process. It needs to be a process where you are breathing your way through it, and you're feeling your way through it, and you're asking yourself the important questions as you move along your daily routine, and you're surrounding yourself with like-minded, loving individuals, and you're seeking out your soul family and your tribes and your counterpoints and your soulmates that are desperately seeking you as well. And when you move into the flow of this new energy that is just dominating the planet right now, you will see that all truth is simple. Grace is quiet and loving. Love is unconditional. And although the planet it's got to break down its old paradigm of belief systems, your job is to break down your old paradigm belief systems and really make some choices about who you would like to be in this new world. And where do you feel the most alive? And what things that you love doing bring joy and tears to your body? Because your body wants to be alive. And if it hasn't felt the vibration of ecstasy and highest levels of excitement, it will crave drama. Because drama makes your body feel alive, just like excitement does. And your body wants to be alive with you. It needs the unconditional light that is within your soul to feed and heal it. Which means that if you are resisting source energy moving through your body and resisting your ability to be a teacher and a healer, you will be very ill right now. And if you continue to live in judgment for anyone, whether it's the color of their skin or the gender that they choose or the choices they make on a daily basis, judgment will be another form of suffering for you, because you are going to choose isolation as the world stops judging. And your groups that you associate with, there is no space for judgment in those groups. which means that your ego no longer gets to play in your social life. And your job is to always be aware of when your ego is present. And how you know when your ego is present is if you feel good or bad. If you feel bad around another person, ego is present telling you that you can't have something you want or you can't be something that you want. And someone is reminding you of that. You need to start looking around and finding people that inspire the hell out of you. And stop being jealous of them. Be inspired to become aspects of them until you find your unique signature of why you're here. They're only here to inspire the pieces of you that you've forgotten that you are, which means if we're all one being without the lights on, and under the light, because all we are without this body is one big white light of consciousness, then anyone who is around you doing well is also a reminder of who you are. And it's important that you hold on to those inspirational people and things right now as you move ahead, because you're moving into the unknown. You're moving into a place that only higher self is familiar with. You're moving into a place that your soul has been waiting for you this whole entire life incarnation. And the ego doesn't know how to follow the light. It only knows how to follow the separation and the segregation of darkness. And so it's your job to also stop simplifying and making your belief systems okay, which means that it's not okay anymore for you to say, well, this is just who I am. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve to be a healer. I don't deserve to be a teacher, because I'm going to give you some motherly tough love right now and say, I can look into the soul of each and every one of you on the planet, and we are all the white light. We are all the pure positive potential of source energy. We are source energy incarnated in a dense body that is fractaled light, which means that the chakras, the colors that permit out of you and project out of you are just fractaled white light. And they all have different messages encoded within them. And it's your job to create unity of self first. Unity of self first, and then unity of your group, unity of your community, unity of your family, unity of your world. And as we become one, which we will, there is no stopping this planet now. As you let go of fear, you will start seeing non-physical reality as if it was physical reality. You will start seeing the craft and the star people who are here working side by side with us, that are waiting for you to be in compliance with your own soul's contracts and start building this planet again, and start holding that space for yourself, not just for other people. And so what I'm saying is it's no longer going to be okay for us spiritual people to just be spiritual. It's time for us to walk our talk. It's time for us to find the courage within ourselves. And it's time for us to start walking and talking as if we are who we say we are. And let go of all the judgment for yourself and others, as the world has to break down for it to break through. And the storms that continue all over the planet are a representation of your emotional storms that are occurring within your vibrational frequency. Weather is all a mirror of emotion, because this is an emotional planet. And so weather is generated by suppressed emotion. And so as we allow ourselves to be emotional, we're going to release that emotion into the atmosphere, and that's going to create weather. And weather can be very destructive, and it can be very balancing. It can be very life-giving, and it can be very healing, just like your emotions. And so what I'm asking you all to do is to really start utilizing the toolbox that you have inside of you. And if all you feel like you have right now is your own human heart that just wants to love unconditionally, anything, whether it be animals or the planet or your neighbor or your group or your favorite books and stories, hold on to that as we go through this soul migration, because only your soul knows where you're supposed to be. Ego only knows where you've been. Ego knows the logic of your responsibilities and obligations to the third dimension. And your soul is saying, okay, that part of you is no longer needed. You needed to play a role until this time and space and energy was all lined up, and now your coordinates are here, and your soul is asking you to go. And wherever you go, it doesn't matter. It's not going to make sense. It's not going to make logical sense because you're not moving into a logical state of being. You're moving into a state of being that is all about unconditional love without limits, which means that there are no conditions that need to satisfy the ego where you're going. So allow your soul to be pulled gently in the direction of its joy. And if you feel right now like you want to move, yet when you look at your circumstances, they don't offer the opportunities for you to financially do that, or they don't offer the opportunities for you to move somewhere, that needs to stop being your judgment, which means that's not your job. Your job is to intend, okay, I am allowing my soul to move wherever I am supposed to be in order to be the most service oriented and joyful that I can be on this planet for this time and space. That's it. It's just time. Just start intending. Just start intending. I wish to move here. I wish to go here. I wish to work here. You know, I am this. I am that. I am a citizen of this. Okay? And as you put that into the universe, let go and go play. Let go and go play as the children. Go and go be of service. You know, go listen to my podcast about manifesting and do the 7 steps of manifestation and let the universe go behind the veil and recalibrate your entire reality and bring you the people, places, circumstances, events, and financial assistance that you need in order to migrate. Because the universe is not saying everyone can go except you. Only your ego is saying that. And as long as your ego keeps your life moving, then you will always live a shadow of what you could become. And so I hope that this podcast shook you up a bit, and I hope that you really discern the difference between sympathy and compassion, because you're really going to need that for where you're going. And I hope that in the next few weeks, as we ride out this next few days of this full moon, that you take this intense charge, this intense masculine energy into the new month ahead of us, and you allow yourself to go gently in the direction of your highest excitement, joy, and potential. I'm looking forward to meeting with all of you guys soon that are out on the web. I will be doing some webinars and some live meetings and some live teachings on top of Second Sunday as we get settled into our new compound. And until then, start making lists of things that you want to accomplish in the next 30 days and set your intention and be fearless. Because I will tell you that being courageous is scary, but it feels a lot better than suicidal thoughts. It feels a lot better than feeling blocked and stuck and lost. And you will start loving the courage that is inside of you. And that's all I've done, is no matter how scared I am, I do it anyways. And it's only been really in the last couple of years that I've really decided that when I'm the most afraid is when I'm going to take action. Because your behavior is a direct result of your belief systems. And if your belief systems don't really believe in the things that you learn about, I would say it's time for you to take stock and see if you really do believe the things that you read. Do you really believe all of this spiritual information that you read all the time and listen to on the podcast? Because if you do believe it, it's time to start acting on it. And it is the only thing that's ever going to resonate with you is the truth. So I will leave you with that today, and I hope that you move forward in this new energy with trust in yourself, because I know you can do it, and we are all here and you are not alone, and your unseen friends and ascended masters are working side by side with you to help you move in the direction of joy, but you've got to start listening. Until next time, I wish you a fabulous week and enjoy this full moon.
Thank you for joining Jessica on this transcending episode. Email us directly at jessicaalstrom@gmail.com with your questions and personal challenges you would like addressed on the show. And join us on next week's podcast. You are not alone, and remember, your higher self speaks to you through people, places, circumstances, and events.